Hey guys, this is Chrasilis, and I'm bringing you part one of what will hopefully just be a two-part series. I'm going to explain and show you the general difference between easy through insane difficulty and nightmare. Easy through insane don't really have that much of a difference other than enemies do more damage, there are more enemies, more ogres, and they have more health and all the other basic scaling stuff. But the jump from insane to nightmare is insane and absolutely changes the entire way that the game is played, to the point that you almost have to kind of relearn how to play every map all over again. You can't really use the exact same strategy anymore. You can to a point, but you kind of have to, I guess you kind of got to pull your resources, and you have to limit yourself in certain areas. Like, to make it easier on yourself, the best way to put it, I know it may sound terrible, but the best thing to do is to try to work on getting the best gear that you can find first. And once you get that good gear, it becomes much easier having to split your tower resources, because then you don't really have to worry about it so much. But first, I'm going to show you a standard insane mode build. I mean, you guys have already seen me play this before, you know, but it's not really that big of a deal, I guess. I'll just show you the insane build. This is what it's like on insane. I'm going to tell you guys right now, this is probably going to be very boring to watch. The enemies are just going to get utterly destroyed, and the build is pretty much done and standalone, very easy. Even with relatively bad gear, this level in particular can be soloed on insane without much effort, as long as you watch out for the ogres. So that's important to note. So to start, all you really need to do to start off here, what I do anyway, is the magic missile towers right off on the edge. Just so you know, guys, this build does apply to all difficulties. So if you are trying to build for a, easy difficulty or whatever, and you're kind of looking for a walkthrough, this is actually going to be of some value to you in general, because this video will show you how to build for this level as an apprentice. You can follow this build almost to a T using other classes. The closest would probably be the Squire. It's just, since you don't have as many defense units, you kind of just got to limit yourself to fewer of your harpoon turrets instead of all of these magic missile towers. In some ways it's better, in some ways it's worse. It just depends on your preference, I guess. So you'll see here, I don't even have to do anything. The enemies just they drop. There's no worry. There's nothing. It's just kind of a little bit of a walk in the park. All is well here in Eternia. I'm going to drop one of these over here. I guess now I will get started on the barricades. I don't need the barricades necessarily, but this is a part of the build, so I may as well show it to you guys, because it will be of importance for all of you lower level players, or just people that don't have, decked out gear and stuff. Those barricades will help a lot. Really for the ogre. The rest of the round, that won't even make a difference. But even on easy mode, there is an ogre at the end, and this is the first time that it's really a challenge in the entire game as a result. That first ogre can be a real pain sometimes when you're using lower level characters and you haven't really been grinding gear or anything like that. So, set up the barricades first. Oops, I ran into a wall. They don't really have to be perfect, but it's all good. Alright. Now we'll get on with this build. The next major component here these things, fireball towers. Combined with the magic blockade, fireball towers are crazy. Because the enemies will walk up to the magic blockade, they will lose any elemental resistances or immunities they have, and the fireball tower will promptly destroy them. It will just wipe the floor with any enemies that are nearby. The overall DPS seems to be pretty similar to the magic missile towers. It just fires slower, so that's something that you should take into consideration. Yeah. You're all dead. Now, with lower level characters, you may not be able to space things out as much as this side is. That was a little bit of a fluke. I usually space it out a lot less. With lower level towers, there's not anywhere near as much range available to each tower, and you're going to need to put your magic barricades closer to them. So just keep that in mind, guys, if you're building for lower level characters. Range is a very important stat to a point. Now, what I like to do for good measure as a just-in-case sort of thing is drop one of these up here. Now, when you're lower level, the range isn't going to be quite as crazy, but just in case an ogre or something plows through here, it'll be good to have that extra backup, you know, or if you get a stray enemy that somehow destroys your towers or whatever, it's just there for good measure. I mean, honestly, guys, this is really all you need for the build. But I just go crazy with it and stack towers to get that, I don't even remember what the merit is, but for maxing out your defense units and keeping it maxed throughout the waves. Can't hurt. It's a matter of whatever works for you guys, really. Here we go. You know, I gotta say, that's one thing that I've really enjoyed about the Summoner so far, is I can kind of use the insane difficulty building strategy and still win on Nightmare, and it's not really a big problem, at least not so far. That's only because of the 360-degree angle, the ability to move towers and all that stuff. Which I only use that ability to move the minions in the most recent episode. I hadn't really messed with it too much before that, but it worked out pretty well. I used an archer minion. He was just running around destroying everything like nobody's business. He was just kind of like, I mean, there's really no other way to put it. He just kind of ran around shooting everything he saw. I can imagine I'm going to need to abuse that feature to some extent later on when I'm doing that playthrough. Jeez, man, I still have 16 units? What am I even going to do with that? I don't know. Let's do another one of these. It's not even necessary, but we'll do it anyway. We got one defense unit left. Where am I? You know what? Just for the heck of it, I'm just going to put another one over here because I can. Where is... Okay, there we go. Just drop it right up here. I don't even care. Here we go, max defense units. Now I just wait it out until it's over. Just so you know, guys, the Squire strategy is generally the same thing. Instead, you put 2 spike blockades on each side and 2 harpoon turrets on each side, and you're pretty much good to go. I mean, that's pretty much it. I think after that, you have room for like another, like a third harpoon turret on each side or whatever. and that's it. So, I mean, that's all you need. I don't know about soloing this as a monk too well. I mean, I don't know. Soloing as both monks and huntresses and rangers and all that is, in my experience, is relatively challenging. Maybe not if you're geared for Nightmare and you're used to playing that and you go back to Insane. It might be pretty easy then still, but that's about it. I don't think anybody out there is going to be soloing, you know, like, whatever, I don't know, Winter Wonderland Old Nightmare with a monk. I just don't see it happening. Correct me if I'm wrong, though. If somebody else out there has a video of that, or they have the skill to do it legitimately, I will be thoroughly impressed. Let me know if you've seen anything or heard of anything like that. I'm going to upgrade this. I may as well speed this process up a little bit. You guys see how tame this is on this difficulty as an apprentice. It is extremely tame. I mean, really, is any proper building class, this is not a challenge. And I know I've said it a million times, but I cannot stress that enough. When I get to part 2, you guys will understand completely. For anybody that has not seen the Nightmare versus Insane difficulty and exactly how it compares. This is ridiculous. This is man. Yeah, I mentioned this before briefly, but I really think that Trendy should try releasing another difficulty like they did with Nightmare and scale it up and make it insane, so all of us level 100 geared players will be given a run for our money. And they can start raising the level cap again. And I mean, I know 100 is a nice even number, and people probably don't want to see that get ruined or whatever. But, I mean, it's just a number, and I feel like if that's what it takes, they should do it. Bump the level cap up to like 120 or something crazy like that over the course of another expansion, and release, you know, whatever the next difficulty is going to be called. Like, just call it Ultimate Difficulty, I don't know. It'd be fine with me, the name doesn't matter. Just make it harder. Because it'd be nice to have a challenge within the first part of the game again on Nightmare. I mean, as you guys can see, if you watch my my new commentary with Broccoli, you'll see we played through Glitterhelm Caverns on Nightmare Hardcore, and he, more or less, all he did was repaired and upgraded in his little section and killed a few of the ogres. And all I did was use my apprentice to build everything, and it's not that bad. I mean, some towers came close to getting destroyed at certain points and moved out of the way and whatnot. And I switched to my ranger for DPS and everything, but it really wasn't hard. It wasn't as mindlessly easy as a level like this is, but it was not difficult at all. I mean, there are obviously exceptions to that by far. Like, There's just no way with a full apprentice-only build that anybody is going to be going out and soloing Winter Wonderland. It's just not possible with an apprentice-only build. Anyway, guys, this has been the insane portion of the Insane versus Nightmare explanation and comparison. I really want you guys to take into consideration how easy this was. Like, I know I've stressed that a billion times, and I've said that a billion times, but seriously, take into consideration and note that the crystal didn't get hit once. No enemies even came close to attacking it. All they did was ran right through these choke points. There were no crazy enemies. It was just your ogres, goblins, and archers with a little bit of dynamite guys or whatever, and that was it. There wasn't anything crazy about it. But as you will see in the next part, there's a lot more to it. So thank you guys for watching this part. I'm probably going to go right ahead and make part 2 directly following this. So if you guys want to just continue, you are more than welcome to do so to see the rest of this comparison. Thank you for watching, guys. Have a great day.